Stephen Ross, the founder and chairman of Related. You've got a lot to talk about here in New York, and certainly a lot here at the conference. Just quickly on the news today, how does a New York real estate guy, and not just New York, but global real estate person, sort of think about everything that's happening right now around taxes?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are looking at it's inevitable, it's going to happen. I mean, and then those who are really looking into it, they're looking at all the areas that are really going to be impacted by it, and what and how negative those impacts might be. I mean, I look at it and I see the issue with affordable housing, which is such a great need in our country, especially in New York City, and with the elimination of tax-exempt financing, it's going to eliminate those credits and tax-exempt bonds for affordable housing. So, I mean, obviously, when you create change, you have a lot of people who don't like things, because it changes things. People don't like change. But there's going to be a lot of impacts, and we're going to have to figure out how we do it. I mean, the issue is really you're changing things, and there's not enough money to really kind of subsidize you in the areas you're taking away where there's a need. So there's a lot of concern.
So a lot of the buzz at this conference, candidly, is about your big project, and one of the biggest projects ever to be conceived and developed, which is Hudson Yards, just west of us here.
Yeah.
A lot of superlatives around that. What have you learned so far?
Well, I mean, when you do something so impactful, and it's got everybody's attention, certainly, and what we're looking to do, and the vision was to create a live, work, play environment. And today, I mean, when you look at the major cities and the growth of cities, you see so much congestion, and how much can those cities handle in the amount of new people coming in, new jobs, new buildings, and everything else. So, we could see that, and we thought Hudson Yards would be a way to really create that live, work, play environment. And really kind of like other cities, I think, will adopt it as nodes, and necessarily not at the scale of Hudson Yards, but certainly the impact and the lessons that will be learned of how people react to it, and being able to really eliminate that and really improve their quality of life.
One of the things that has struck a lot of people as interesting, especially people here in New York, is the names, especially the corporate names who you have attracted to move in there. KKR, BlackRock, sort of names that people always associate with either Wall Street or really Midtown. What was the pitch? What got them there?
The pitch is, today, companies to grow themselves, it's all about talent. And it's really the search and acquiring talent. And so therefore, they have to have the type of buildings and being able to deliver the kind of services that you can work in this type of atmosphere. And so many buildings are obsolete. Like you take in New York, like 60-70% of the buildings are 50 years and older, and they weren't built to operate the way today corporations operate. And also, this is where the young people wanted to live. And so therefore, by building it in the heart of that and creating a kind of a real hub there, they would be able to attract young talent. So I think it's a combination of both of those. Those corporations that were really looking ahead and wanting to, and they were the leaders in each of their fields. And we got them from every field in New York. It wasn't just one sector, which is really, that kind of surprised me.
And what, especially as you've been building a project of this scale, what are you learning about sort of retail in this new world of retail and people wanting experiences and shopping online? How does that play out in your estimation?
Well, I mean, so much has been written about retail, like the demise of retail, and but today, only still 8% of retail is being bought bought online. So certainly people want to go out shopping is the greatest form of entertainment. Will be, and it always has been, right? So we found by creating experiences and something different. And what's happened in retail is that there's been so much of the same thing that there's nothing new there, and people just are copying it, and therefore I think people want change. They want something different, and that type of retail is doing well. Those retailers who are embracing that and see that, and also from a real estate standpoint, creating the retail environment that is really experiential, that you really, with restaurants and making it an exciting place to where you want to spend your time. Because don't forget, most retail, it's impulsive buying. It's not like you're going there for a specific reason. If you're going there for a specific reason, you'll probably do better off just buying it online because it's more of a commodity anyway.
Right. Also feels like you put a lot of emphasis in Hudson Yards and elsewhere on food and restaurants. I mean, how much does that play into sort of the real estate zeitgeist, I guess?
Well, I mean, that's what we saw. The people wanted to be there. You wanted to go there repeatedly. And therefore you want to create different types of experiences with different restaurants, and not just the chain restaurants. We don't have any of the chain restaurants there. They're kind of like hand curated type of restaurants with great chefs. And at the same time, looking to create experiences within there. With the plaza we're creating, with what we call today the vessel, we'll become the icon for New York for the 21st century. I mean, you won't want to be a New Yorker or coming to New York without wanting to walk to the top of it. It's 150 feet high.
Right.
And then at the top we have our observation deck, and we'll have experiences up there that have never been done before. So it's all form of entertainment. And people watching is also the greatest form of entertainment.
Of course. So I can't let you go. You are obviously the owner of the Miami Dolphins. A lot of talk about Roger Goodell these days. What's your assessment of how he's done as commissioner?
I mean, I like Roger. I think he's done a great job. I mean, these are different times, and I think different pressures are being put upon him, today. There's so much talk of his compensation, and then, with Jerry Jones, and I love Jerry. He's a great owner. He thinks outside the box. But I think a lot of it has to do with the Ezekiel Elliott, suspension. But I think overall, when you look and see what's going on in the press and how important the NFL is, it's always going to be a target of what are they doing and how do you make news. The easiest way to make news is for something to talk about the NFL.